fantastic. They reconfigured it. It is a worthy stage for a national championship game. It is the home stadium for the Canes of Miami. Mario Cristobal, Curt Cignetti. These are two ball coaches that are about it. A lot of respect there as the game gets going. And here, well, that's Jacoby Thomas, and that's got to be flagged. You can't do that. Fernando Mendoza is bloodied. Curt Cignetti didn't like it. Don't blame him. That is absolutely a personal foul. They get a field goal there, and same score midway through the second. The U's done nothing. Riley Nowakowski, that is the name of a fullback, and a very capable tight end. They use him very capably in the offense. It's 10-0. Indiana held Miami to 20 yards rushing in the first half. This is 57 yards of Mark Fletcher Jr. And in the blink of an eye, right before that play, I said to Dusty Dvorak, I said, they haven't had one easy play. Nothing has worked. And then literally the next play, everyone in the U is celebrating. It's still 10-7. They fielded a punt at their own 3-yard line, which was a bad idea. They couldn't move off the 3-yard line. And here, Mikhail Kamara blocks. Isaiah Jones recovers. That's starters on defense that play on teams. That's what IU does. First special teams touchdown in a BCS College Football Championship playoff final since 2016. But then Malachi Tony, you're going to hear from him, and you do. Beautiful play design there. Gain of 22. Then 3rd and 1. Speaking of beautiful play designs, the speed of Tony to the outside is a little bit scary. You hand off inside to the battering ram Fletcher Jr. His mom, Linda, loves that. 17-14. 4th and 5. The moments getting more significant. Charlie Becker, back shoulder throw. This dude is a speedster. He caught touchdowns in the first 2 playoff games, but he made huge possession catches in this one. Now it's 4th down again. Becker, no. Design run. Curt Cignetti said they rolled the dice, and then his quarterback gets blasted by Basant, who is delivering lumberjack blows throughout this game, and he is able to not only not fumble, not fall down, but spin and dive for the end zone. A Heisman moment, his family celebrating, watching with joy as the Hoosiers are back in front by 10. But now, it's Tony again. This guy from the jump on this field against Notre Dame back in August. He announced himself as a guy you're going to need to keep an eye on throughout this season and play the fight song into the end zone. That's why IU doesn't kick a field goal to go up 6, because the touchdown would leave them behind. So it's 24-21. Did I mention high leverage moments, throws and catches to who? Becker, again, challenged, and man, they let the secondary for both sides be physical, and Becker is able to secure that catch. A 3rd and 5 late, and the U is able to swallow up the attempt for the first down. This is actually after a rare penalty for IU backed them up. So now they kick the field goal, which means the U has got a chance. And here is this roughing. Down goes Beck, and it's a new set of downs for Miami after a couple of rare penalties for Indiana are really penalizing. And then Jamari Sharp, the kid from Miami, Northwestern High School, climbs the ladder, and that will do it, because out of timeouts, Miami cannot stop the clock. Beck can't believe it after leading the touchdown drive against Ole Miss that propelled them to this championship game. That last drive ends in a pick, and it's a 16-0 national championship season for Curt Cignetti and this Indiana team. A ton of his JMU squad came with him. They used the portal effectively. Some who stuck around, like Becker, not a guy that was thought to become this type of player, but really it developed into one. And you're talking about a program that began in 1887, yeah. And they have never won a Heisman. They've never won a national title. And now they've done both. Just an incredible year. Incredibly unlikely. I'm sure they're sick of hearing that, but you know what? They know it better than anybody. They've lived it. And now they celebrate.
Well, I doubted in the modern era you're going to have a 16-0 team win a national championship. I thought it was going to be very challenging to do. And it's Indiana, of all teams, of all programs, that ends up doing it. Look, they earned the bye. They went out to Pasadena, and they were not just happy to be there. They dominated Alabama. Many thought Oregon was going to get him in the return match. That was a first-round knockout. This was a different kind of game. And Indiana had to show the kind of resolve, Scotty, they'd showed through the regular season. We talked about the comebacks and the responses by Mendoza. They had to respond again and again because Miami wouldn't go away.
Yeah. I mean, halftime we were talking, boy, we thought Miami would come in and have a little bit more fight. And I think when they got the stop, Scott, in the second half, I said to Chris, you could feel the momentum just on the stop before the Fletcher long touchdown. You could feel the crowd felt we need to play with more urgency. The team felt second half, new half, and then they had that long touchdown. And I thought to myself, we're about to have a heck of a second half. This is about to be game on. And then, of course, it went back and forth. But just being from the Big Ten and growing up, never expecting Indiana. Indiana's one of those stadiums that the visiting teams, the big schools, fill up their stadium. That's kind of who they've been most of their lives as fans. And to see this, I've seen these for years, but I think there's such gratitude and appreciation, sincere gratitude and appreciation from this Indiana fan base that this party is going to last for a long, forget tonight, this is going to go for a few days, I think.
Michigan a couple years ago, Scotty, 15-0, Ohio State, and now you got back-to-back for the Big Ten.
Yeah.
And between 69, the year after Woody Hayes won at Ohio State, and the playoff year, they've won a total of 3 in that span. So it's a seismic shift.
No question, and we think about the run the SEC had, and it was the fact that there were many different teams among them, whether it was Florida or Alabama or Auburn or LSU. And now you see in order Ohio State, Michigan, and now Indiana, improbably. And I agree with what you said, fellas, at the end, that this is not going to go away. It's not just the billionaires that are throwing their support behind it. It's this massive alumni base that passed the hat to help in this modern era with the tools that are available to them to help bring these guys there. I'm interested just in the plays that happen along the way, that like Becker makes a huge catch, but it's that guy right there, a Heisman Trophy winner. We heard Coach say he rolled the dice, and you better be right. And it feels like he pressed every correct button, and then they get the stop in the end. It was just a remarkable second half for a team that was able to absorb a punch, Chris, when they had to.
They did. And Kirk and I, we talked about that play. Yeah, the run is going to be replayed forever, but the call should not be forgotten. They had a chance to go up 10 there and really put pressure on Miami. A field goal, and it's a 6-point game. That would have felt like maybe Miami actually had momentum off that stop. Instead, he felt good about the play. He went into granular detail about how they blocked it up and why they rolled the dice. Three Mendoza, though, taking the 2 shots in the course of that run and just going airborne. I'll never forget that.
No, and I do think that the call, if you think about it in the modern world of the NFL, the analytics, I mean, it makes sense because of what's at stake there. You got a chance to make it a 2-possession game late. If you don't get it, your defense has been playing well for most of the game, and you got them pinned at around the 15-yard line. So I'm sure they went back and forth during that timeout, but the right call was made. What a call by Mike Shanahan, the offensive coordinator, along with Cignetti, to trust their guy. He's at that high red zone area. That's usually where he runs the ball. And one Miami safety came down, the other one did not, so he had room to cut to the right and then took it into the end zone. But a gutsy run, and a great way for us to kind of put that exclamation point in the year that Mendoza has enjoyed this year, winning the Heisman.
You guys have been such a part of the fabric of the sport for so many years, and I know how much Coach Cristobal detests the idea of is the U back. Forget the U back. They're here right now, and I understand this is a disappointing loss, and they'll have to transition away from the quarterback back who was here this year. But the sport's more fun when they matter, in my opinion, and this place was electric tonight. What's your sense of the direction that they will go moving forward?
Not going away, that's for sure. They are loaded with talent. Mark Fletcher going to come back for another year of college football. They've got a boatload of young guys coming in there. Cristobal, to me, has a solid blueprint. I do want to say something about Carson Beck, though. That was a heartbreaking way to go out. He's got a couple championship rings for Georgia, but they keep him in a drawer in Jacksonville because he wasn't really a starter or a big part of that. This was his chance, his moment. You dream about it as a quarterback. He had done some great things to bring him back, and just that one kind of like miscommunication presses the ball in there. Sharp makes the pick, and many people, I think, have a misunderstanding about Beck and what he's about. He's a team guy. These Miami teammates love him, and I hate to see for him personally, that's a tough blow for any individual to kind of bear that responsibility.
I agree with you, and Chris and I have had a chance with Holly to sit down with him I don't know, 7 or 8 times just in those production meetings, and you get to know some of these guys at a different level, and he's one of them. And boy, the table was set. After all, it's what we said when we let him out. When they after Indiana kicked off, after all he's been through, down 6, minute and a half, go do it. What an opportunity, and he got him across right around midfield or so, and then
right.
Sharp makes the play, and just maybe a miscommunication on the route, but. I think, much like Indiana, I'm with Chris. Miami's not going to go anywhere. When you say Indiana's not going anywhere, Miami, that doesn't mean they're going to play in the national championship every year. It just means these teams are going to be around. These teams are. This was not climb up here. This was fun. See you later. They're going to be around.
Right.
It's going to be fun. And I think Vanderbilt's going to be around. It's just a new world, a new era that we live in.
I wonder, Scotty, though, if you're in any conference in the country where football is important, how can you not believe something's possible if you can get the right guy? See, that's what Cignetti has done. I mean, you look at administrations, and there's not much patience out there, because if you're not winning, we can go try to find a guy who can use the portal, raise some money, and do something close to this. Maybe not reach 16-0, but compete quickly. There's no more excuses out there, really.
No, and the blueprint exists. It requires the needle to be threaded quite exactly, and there's much praise to be handed out around the board as it relates to Bloomington. But I'm glad you guys also mentioned Beck as well. They're not here if he doesn't lead them on a drive against Ole Miss to get him into this game, right? And it ends in heartbreak, and the Miami kid, as you guys called immediately with the pick. A remarkable night, as always. You guys do it so well, and it's so fun to be here with you. Thanks for sharing a little time with me. I look forward to visiting down the road, boys.